like even though we're gonna do this again, I still need to preface this with snake drafts are the worst way to do this. Just so they don't get comfortable that we're good at this. Like, oh, y'all do this on the sneak. You just hate. No, we don't like it.
I hate
But
it.
we're here to
I
do it again.
despise it. Before we get into this, though, a very big thing that I want to mention: don't remain married to information in fantasy. As
Mm,
evidence changes, be open to changing your mind. What I felt about things 2 weeks ago, I don't necessarily feel exactly the same now because
absolutely.
there's more information available to you. So, again, be ready to pivot as information becomes available always. All right, let's rock.
Always. Always. My man BQ, I'm Ace. We are back here with another. I promise I'm not going to curse Evan Ingram out episode of Other Side of the Game. We are getting
I
real
might
close
take
to the
it. I
nitty
might take
gritty.
him last
Don't do it.
last round. I
Don't
just
do it. You can't do that to me. Like, not you. Anybody but you, bro. You can't. Actually, you would do that to me. Never mind. We're back with another one, another mock draft here for you. Before we hop in, we are going to hop in quick. Preseason week one. What stood out to you? Anything stand out to you preseason week one? Do you care? The only thing that stands out to me
I
mentally
care a
is
lot more about camp than I do preseason. Quite honestly, I care a
yeah,
lot more about what I hear out of
a
camp.
ton, a ton.
Quite
Trey Lance stood
frankly,
out to me week
I,
one. The
that that
kid has
that
talent.
was great. That was
Just
great. I
saw
went to the movies. It was awesome. I have no regrets. I caught up on what I needed to catch up on. I'm good. Like I'm so
yeah, I feel you.
look. First week of the preseason, I just can't go out of my way to stop scheduling living a life. You
No, you
feel
can't
me?
do it.
Uh,
Can't do it.
Now, first week of the regular season,
Oh yeah,
dude, I
everything
don't
shuts
care
down.
what we got playing. I don't care
All
what we
things
have
shut
playing.
down.
We're not doing it.
Everything shuts down.
We planned this for 6 months. You should have planned ahead and checked on
You
football
should.
first.
What? Oh Lord, the Giants are gonna be so ass. So speaking of not ass, I'm gonna go ahead and redeem the city of New York with these mocks and these real drafts. Hopefully, nothing stood out for me week one either. You know, DeAndre Swift looked good. They played him. He got some. He got an inside the 10-yard line run, which I like to see. And get him the ball closer to the goal line. Hopefully, that's something that they continue. They probably
I,
won't. Who
look,
knows?
I will never doubt Bill Belichick ever, but the storm that's brewing around that New England offense does not sound good.
It
Like
doesn't.
Matt Patricia is just.
Why
Does
is he calling
anybody have
plays?
faith in this dude?
Why
Like,
is he calling
how do you
plays?
switch sides? So you were bad on the defensive side, so we just gonna switch you over? And is he still laminating his play sheets?
Guess who the other guy calling plays is?
It was
Quit
somebody.
on the quit on the
It
Giants,
was
Joe
Joe Judge, wasn't
Judge.
it? It was Joe
Quit
Judge,
on the
wasn't it?
Giants. I
Yeah.
want nothing but
Like,
bad things for them.
how did
I
you
hope
escape special teams, my man? You
I
went and
want
became
none.
a bad head coach, and now
A
you are
bad head
offensive
coach.
guru. Like
I hate everything about JoJo. Like he had our guys wearing tape on their
the
hand, like
tennis
tennis
ball.
balls on their
No, no, no.
hands.
I remember that because he was trying to, man.
Um,
He was trying to teach him not to hold. I was like, dude, this dude's an idiot.
I hate everything about him, man.
Like your
I want
boy's
to.
an idiot.
This is the worst,
Off
man.
top. I
Let's
said all
just
this
get
off top. Yeah, let's get to it.
let's just get to this, man. Let's
Yeah,
go
yeah.
ahead.
I need redemption apparently.
Let's
So
go.
yeah, go ahead, let it rock.
Let's
Let it
go ahead
rock.
and bring
Yeah,
up.
yeah. Redemption.
Let's go ahead and bring
We're
up
not
this
gonna
mock,
let you
man.
name these
You gonna
shows no more. We're gonna have a collaborative effort as far as naming these
listen?
episodes.
You've been talking about how much you hate your mock drafts
I
for
do.
days.
But redemption for a mock draft? Like, come on, man.
You've been talking about you
Come on.
hated
We
them.
talked
I
about
want you to
practice.
redeem. You
We
know what I'm
are
saying?
quite literally
Don't worry
talking
about that.
about
Don't
practice.
worry about that, man. That's all. Don't worry about that. That's old shit. We are here. As you can see, my man Brendan's drafting from the 4 spot, me from the 6. In this super flex, two flex PPR mock draft. We don't do anything easy. Why should this be easy here? I guess we just gonna kick it off, B. Let's just get
Yeah,
it done.
go ahead, let it
Let's go
rock.
ahead. Start draft. Now this should be yes, I'm sure. Don't ask me am I sure. That's why I clicked it, B. So we're
All
gonna
right,
go ahead.
so that went about how I expected. With the way that it's set, with weight a little bit more towards quarterback importance as it will be in an actual draft, I felt pretty strongly that I wanted to go running back in the first round, considering I'm picking fourth. So that's something, again, if you know where you're picking, even if it's an hour before the draft, if it's in the top half of the first round, you need to at
Right.
least have some names in your head.
You need to.
In this instance, I was hoping that Jonathan Taylor had fallen to me, but that is largely because I did not expect. I, these rankings are all over the place. They got Derrick Henry way further down than I do. At number
They do.
4, I am taking Derrick Henry because I
Yeah.
feel best about him. Christian McCaffrey, he's awesome. In 8 to 10 games he plays this year, he's going to be incredible. If he finishes the year with over 14 games, he will be running back one.
You
I
will.
just can't trust it. First round, I want to go safe.
Okay.
As we talked about last week, you can't win your draft in the first round.
But
You
you can
can
lose
lose it in the
it.
first round. I'm
Yeah.
not losing my draft taking Derrick Henry right here.
You're really not.
The only other consideration would be if I wanted Pat Mahomes. I don't like the value quite to that point. Josh Allen is the only first round worthy quarterback on my board. He's the
Agreed.
only tier one quarterback. So I'm taking Derrick Henry. I feel great about it because
Okay.
what else they gonna do?
What else are they
What
gonna
else they
do but
gonna
give
do?
him the
Yeah,
ball?
give my
What
man the
else are
rock.
they gonna do?
Give it to the big dude
What
who's
else?
faster than everybody too.
And now we're here at number 6. It really comes down to, am I taking McCaffrey or do I want Cup or Jefferson? Because I think those guys, when you have two wide receiver with the two flex, this year screams put wide receivers in all your flex positions. Just screams it. It's where all the value is. But I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for running backs, man. Am I gonna?
And the depth is
And the depth is
when it comes back
horrible.
around, man. It
It's gonna
comes
be
back around, and it's
garbage,
like, what are we doing?
and I can't do it. And as much as I love Cooper Cup, the Stafford stuff, yeah, I don't know. As much as I love Justin Jefferson, I'm not going to take him over Cooper Cup. I'm taking Christian McCaffrey. We're going to keep it easy. I'm not going to draft with fear. We're going to take Christian McCaffrey and hope he plays 14, 15 games. And if he
Listen,
does,
hope,
he's
hope.
that guy.
But if he does,
He's
that
that
is a
guy.
steal. That's an absolute
Period.
steal if he does. That's the thing. That's what makes him so special because when he plays, he is that dude. He just
Right.
is.
Right.
And now you're back
100%.
around.
And I'm
You
back
want to go?
around.
What do you want to go through? Let's see. There was both tight ends went, which I wasn't necessarily expecting. A bit of a
At
run
all.
on running backs. Quarterbacks.
Quarterback
Quarterbacks
is
are going
interesting.
in a way that
Quarterbacks are going heavy.
I think it's going to go that way on actual draft days. So
It
I
very well
am.
might. Now, here's where I just like it gets really interesting here because there are still some monster running backs who I love on this board. Running back gets ugly fast if I can lock in two here, but go to wide receiver. I'm looking at Diggs
You
and
got
Adams.
you got Diggs and Adams sitting
I'm
there
looking
at the
at Diggs
top.
and Adams. And
Diggs and
second
Adams sitting there
round,
at the top.
there's no way. Like as I know, quarterback went on a run. I'm not reaching. No, I'm not. I can't do it.
But
I
in a
can't
in
do
a
it.
draft of this nature, would quarterback be a reach? And I'm not saying don't take Diggs or Adams because I would lean heavily towards taking Diggs or Adams and
Yep.
feeling great about it.
Yep.
But in this system, a quarterback is not a reach, as
It's
displayed
not
by
a reach
the
at
fact
all.
that so many are already gone.
It's not a reach at all. And this draft here is going to show you some stark differences between how my man B and how I draft. I can already see it here because he went Derrick Henry, which is I have Derrick Henry number one running back on my board too. I would have taken the same thing. Play to what your board looks like, not whatever auto pick shows you, and not all these projections and all that. That's
Look,
cool,
look, the projections. Look, if you really don't know what you're doing, the projections will get you where you need to get to.
right?
If you are trying to win your league, you are not
Right.
going to win your league simply following the projections. It's just not going to work that way.
You're not
Some
gonna.
guys are going to do better than they expect. Some guys are going to do worse. It is up to you to figure out what you think. But all I can say is when I rock with what I personally believe, if it doesn't work out, I can live with it.
I can live with it.
When I
Fall on your
start
own
going with
sport, not on
consensus
somebody
and
else's.
well, this person said do this and this person said do that,
Yeah, I don't know none of
and
these
it
people,
doesn't
man.
work, I'm pissed at myself for listening to them. Like if I'm gonna
Yeah.
go down, I can go down with my own thoughts, with my own feelings.
Period.
That's
100%.
all.
That's it.
That's
I'm going
all.
wide receiver because the value right here is too crazy,
And
and
which
I
one are
kn-
you going with?
And I have Diggs. I had Diggs ahead of Adams.
That's why
Once
I
we
asked
did
the
our
question.
drafts.
That's why I asked
Um,
the question.
but the more I think about it, the more I see things, the more things start to feel out. I just feel like Devontae Adams is the best
He's
wide receiver in football
Adams. Like he's
still,
yeah,
man.
exactly,
And I just
exactly.
can't.
Not,
the- McCaffrey, Devontae Adams, 1-2.
fair enough.
It's
So
time to get
after
busy.
so after that, Matthew Stafford went. So where I'm left with is basically thinking, do I wait on quarterback or not? How risky
Right,
do I feel? Because I have Diggs at the top of the board. I have had my issue with taking Diggs in the past simply because he was playing with Kirk Cousins before Kirk Cousins realized he could be a decent quarterback. Um, and it was a topsy turvy season. But
right.
with Josh Allen, I feel completely confident he's going to be super productive. He's going to be anywhere from wide receiver 4 to 8. I don't see him falling below that. I don't necessarily see him jumping into the top 3 either. I really think he's going to sit right within that cluster and be really, really good.
Yep.
But it gets ugly at quarterback pretty quickly, and I
Ooh,
like
so
to feel
fast.
good about quarterback. So right now, though I don't think the team itself is going to be that good, I do think Dak
Right,
Prescott is going to have an awesome season. I take
right.
Dak Prescott there. I just feel better about securing that position, and the fact that I have a slight bias against Diggs does
I can't be
not
mad at that. I can't be
like.
mad at that at all. But then it comes back around to you. So now you see that there's a run on QB. We'll
There
see what
has
type
been a
of
run on
value
QB.
drops back to you because you
So
still have.
if I
Mm,
wanted to really go for it here at QB, taking Rodgers or taking Carr, at least in the way that I have mine set up, makes all the sense in the world. That
right.
being said, one thing I have spoken about is try to go into your draft with a general plan. I
Yep.
was not married to the idea of any position at first pick, second, third. I did want to get out of the first 3 rounds with a quarterback, a running back, and a wide receiver if all 3
Nice.
picks were viable for value. I look at my wide receiver position. I love CeeDee Lamb this year. I have CeeDee Lamb ranked ahead of Debo Samuel. So on
Okay.
draft day, I might be inclined to do it. I am a lifelong Cowboys fan. I want no parts of a Cowboys stack. I just don't want to do it. They make me miserable enough. They don't got to ruin my fantasy teams as well. I already took Dak. That's my Cowboys quota for a while. So I'm going to go ahead and take Debo Samuel. He got his money. They can go ahead and load him up on carries again. And if he hits a certain amount of carries or running touchdowns, he gets an extra check. So he's going to be willing to take them. He's got his money. I feel a lot better about that situation now that he has been paid. I take Debo Samuel.
That is a mean top three.
It
Henry,
is.
Dak, Debo. That's a mean top three. Here is where Allen gets weird because Aaron Rodgers should be drafted for me. Trey Lance, love the upside.
I love the upside of Lance. It's just
Love
you
the
want that as
Lance.
QB1. I
I
love
don't.
Lance as a QB2. I
Right.
freaking love him as a QB2. As a QB1, I get a little uneasy.
Can't do it, baby. Can't do. I'm not gonna be able to do it. What I'm gonna be able to do in the third round, since they're pushing his suspension back to 2023,
You're
I
gonna go
don't know
to
how you go. Like you go to round three and you take Kamara. I am not able to pass it. I can't do it. I'm staring at it. That's not how I'm built. I'm not built that way. I'm just gonna click the button because I already know how this goes, and I'm taking Alvin Kamara round three.
I cannot be mad at it at all. From a value standpoint, that's incredible value. It's just a matter of, do you trust it? As of now, it seems like that suspension is going to wait, despite the fact
Yep.
that he was caught in 4K. I truly don't know
4K, bro.
how. I don't know how NFL investigations work because some stuff they get figured out. When it can hurt them, they're super efficient in figuring out that they did nothing wrong. But when it's a
100%.
player, they'll take a year and a half to figure out some stuff that we saw on camera. I, I
100%.
don't get it, but whatever. Good for him. He's going to play out the year, keep getting them
What can you do?
checks. You
What can
know.
you do? Now we're back here again, round four.
Mm-hmm.
Alan, take a quarterback, Alan. Take a quarterback, bro. Take a
And,
quarterback,
and
right?
to be clear, not only take the quarterback,
There's
I
one
look at
that's
the
head
board
and
right
shoulders
now.
above.
I see one left that I feel comfortable starting week in, week out. I literally only see one
100%.
left. So me being me, there would be no way that I am not taking him. None
Yeah,
whatsoever. But you like to live dangerously, and there
me
is
too.
value elsewhere. There is legitimate value elsewhere at running back. There is very, very good value available at wide receiver. And depending on how you feel about Kittle, you could just say, I want to load up at tight end, go
I
to the
could.
top of the board, go that way as well. So there's plenty of value left.
This is my life as a two quarterback drafter. I'm in enough leagues that start super
And,
flex,
and
that
just to
start
just
two
to be
QBs.
clear,
Yeah, talk to
though
him.
I like the balance of my first three picks, if we're just talking upside, McCaffrey, Kamara, Adams is wild. The fact that you can have that core and still have the ability to grab a quarterback who is, in my opinion, going to be very, very good from a fantasy standpoint this year
Yep,
is wild. And it is also wild to me that I have a strong feeling you are not going to take that quarterback
that's wild for you because you see that I'm looking at T Higgins because you know I love me some T Higgins.
because
You
he's
know,
awesome. Because
you
he's
know I
awesome.
love
Like
T
the
Higgins.
value elsewhere can't be debated. It's just a matter of the quarterbacks, which is what we've tried to convey.
That's
If you
all it
play in a
is.
league of this nature, if you play in a super flex, which I believe is Yahoo's default now, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken, that's their default, or if you play in a 2 QB league, quarterback value tilts in a way that honestly it shouldn't,
It,
but it's a pure numbers game. You got 32 viable starters. If you're in a 12 man or person, excuse me, league, you got 24 starters.
you have
People
24
want depth.
starters.
There's not enough to go around, so they
There's
go
not,
early.
and they go fast.
They go
As you
early.
see
They go
here, they're
fast.
going fast.
And if you're in a salary cap league, they go expensive. Whatever value ESPN or Yahoo or NFL tells you those quarterbacks are worth, that is not in fact what they are worth. They're going to be far more expensive.
100%, dog. It's an amazing point. All that makes perfect sense. T
Mm-hmm.
Higgins is my number 9 wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
McCaffrey, Kamara, Adams, Higgins, the way Ace drafts, I'm
Mm-hmm.
leaving there thinking that I drafted the best team in history, and I'm taking T
So
Higgins because we're gonna live dangerously, baby.
so
we
then
gonna
it comes back around to me. You have T Higgins ninth on your board. My
I do.
number 10 wide receiver is sitting
Michael
here.
Pittman.
I love Michael Pittman. I love Michael Pittman more than most this year. I am incredibly high on him. I just don't think I think he has a
We both
super
have him
high
at 10, I think.
floor. I think he has a super high floor. He's going to be really good this year.
Yes.
It's a matter of whether he is elite or not, but he's going to be very good. I feel incredibly confident in that. It makes all the sense to take him, pair him with Debo. I feel really good about my quarterback one with Dak. I can wait on a quarterback,
We can.
but I don't want to. I see a quarterback who is head and shoulders better than the rest of the
That's I
quarterbacks on
saw
the
it coming.
board. Like
I
I
saw it
just
coming.
like, do I trust Tua? Nope. Do I trust
It's-
Fields? Nope. Do I trust Lawrence? Nope. Do I trust Ryan? Yeah, but he's mid. He's a 40-degree day. He's going to be fine. Do I trust Mac Jones? Nope. Wait. Mac Jones with
Mac
Matt
Jones,
Patricia as OC?
not
Hell no,
Matty
I don't
P.
trust Mac Jones.
Not
Jameis,
Matty P.
man, that man went on TV, put his fingers in a W, and started licking them, talking about eating W's. No, I don't
Yeah,
trust that
no,
man.
no,
No,
and
I
he
don't
didn't
trust
play,
that
and
man.
he didn't play, bro.
No, I don't. My
He
man
didn't play
stole
that game.
crab legs. He nearly messed up
He
his
stole crab
bag
legs.
over crab legs. No, I don't
Didn't he
trust
steal a
that man with
laptop
my.
too? Yeah, he out here
That was Cam.
nasty.
That was
That
Cam.
was Cam.
That was
That was
Cam.
Cam. He not in the league either. This tells you all you need to know about these dudes, man.
Hey. Do I trust Ryan Tannehill without AJ? No. Do I
No, you
trust
don't.
the talent of Watson? Absolutely, but he's a piece of shit who will not see my team, even in a mock
Never in
setting.
life.
So, yes, Kirk Cousins. I can't believe how I've turned on Kirk Cousins over the years because I
I
remember when he
love
was
some
in
cousins.
Washington, I couldn't wait for them to sign him to a long-term deal so I could laugh at him. And now they haven't been shit since he left.
I'm going to
They should
roster
have
some
just paid
teams
the
with Kirk
man.
Cousins as my QB
They
one
could have
man.
had that man for like 30 a year for like 6 years, and they scoffed at it. Now look at him. Look at him. Bum ass franchise. Kirk Cousins, come on, man.
Commendatore. Listen, I can't knock it, man. I can't knock it. Like I said, this draft is going to show you the stark differences of how
And
we build teams.
this is how I
And this
love
is
it.
not what I
It
wanted.
comes
This
it
is not
comes
what I
right back
wanted because
around,
I
and
know
what I
who you're going with.
needed to
I
happen
know, I
happened.
know what's going.
I got
This
my
is not.
quarterback. I have
This is
secured
not
my
looking good.
quarterback situation with Dak and Kirk.
This
I
is not
feel
looking good.
great about that core. And my number 10 wide receiver is
You
still on the
drafting your
board,
ass
baby.
off right now.
My number
You
10
cooking
wide
right now.
receiver is
You
still on the
cooking.
board,
You
baby.
cooking
So
tonight.
yeah, I'm gonna take Michael Pittman. I'm
You
gonna
cooking.
take Michael Pittman.
You
Redemption, baby.
you cooking
Redemption.
tonight. You cooking tonight. I'm not mad at you. You out here cooking, and guess who's still not taking the quarterback, bro? Guess
Well,
who's
at
not
this
doing
point,
it?
what's the
At
difference?
this
At
point, what's
this
the
point,
point?
what's the
There's
difference?
no difference, and
Once
that's
you've
where it comes
decided to
down to.
wait,
Once I
wait.
decided to
You need
not
to
take
stack
Kirk
up
Cousins,
elsewhere. You
once
need
I
to stack
decided
up
to not take
elsewhere.
Cousins, it makes no sense to reach for a quarterback when the next 6, 7 guys are interchangeable for me mentally. It makes no
Absolutely.
sense to take it. And this is what
Absolutely.
I was planning. As soon as I reached round 4 and I realized the value that was dropping, I mentally decided I'm not doing it. I'm not taking the quarterback. I will see what quarterbacks are there when the value stops being this unbelievable. And how am I like Deontay Johnson, DJ Moore, Jalen Waddle? Like, come on. I'm not. I got running back taken care of.
So,
Running back.
so
Let's look at how gross running. Unless you like Cam Akers a whole lot,
hey. To be clear, I still don't have a running back too, and that's the difference between how we build teams.
right?
I feel okay taking a hit at running back two because I have the most consistently safe running back one there
Do
is in Derrick Henry.
one hundred
Now,
percent.
say for instance, I took Christian McCaffrey, who's a bit more volatile. I would have had to have secured running back last round over
Yep.
Pittman. I just would have
Yep.
had to do it. That's the nature of it. You figure out how you want to build your team and keep that in mind. It's not a pick by pick thing, it's how it all comes together in the end.
Agreed. There are 2 tight ends on this board that I like. I'm not going to take one of them here yet because I think the way I've seen this draft go, maybe they
Hmm.
both go, and that's fine. Tight end is not something that's going to destroy you if one of them is not there. But what you can do is look at Jalen Waddle, Deontay Johnson, DJ Moore.
I love Jalen Waddle. And Deontay Johnson, that's just my guy.
Deontay's your
Target
guy. I
monster.
just
Just a target monster.
if we're talking about a PPR monster this year, those are my guys. Waddle, McLaurin, not doing it. Carson Wentz stinks.
McLaurin, it's more a matter of he needs to fall further.
He
Um,
does.
like right now, he is no longer in the same tier. Well, I won't even say it. I had him in tier four. I am
He's
right
gonna be at
now
the bottom
probably.
of there.
He's either at the very bottom of tier four or towards the top of tier five. But I have
Right.
a bunch of wide receivers on the board that I certainly have higher within tier four with Waddle, Johnson, and DJ Moore. Mike
100%.
Williams, that's kind of a. I like
Mike
the
Williams is
upside of
my guy.
Williams a lot more. Whereas
He's a
McLaurin,
me
I
type
think he's
guy.
going to get you your 10 to 12 every week just
Yep.
because whatever. Carson's going to throw it blindfolded if he needs to
Yep.
because he doesn't care. He doesn't care.
100%. So it comes down to Waddle, Deontay, or DJ Moore for me. Who do I think has a more touchdown upside out of these guys is what I look for because I think they're all going to get crazy targets. Waddle has a monster to deal with in Tyreek Hill.
Hmm.
So going from here, so that takes him out a little bit for me, just because I think Tyreek's just gonna command the attention. They're paying him too much money not to give him every opportunity to earn that money for him.
A top 10 pick that they traded an extra first to get.
Yes,
Like, I get what you were saying. In terms of draft capital, did Tyreek get one first or two? Remind me.
I want to say two.
Okay, fair enough. From a draft capital standpoint, Waddle cost them every bit as much as Tyreek did.
They did. I love Waddle this year. I do. I've come around on Trubisky. I think he's going to be okay, and I think they paid Deontay. Deontay's happy.
He's a
I
target
take
monster.
I
I don't
take
necessarily think he has
Deontay.
the touchdown upside, though. That's the only thing. If you want the
I don't think
touchdown
any of them
upside,
do. I don't. With the DJ Moore, Baker, nah. Darnold, nah. We saw it. Not
fair,
doing it.
fair. And now the big run came on wide receivers. There was a huge run on wide out there. So at
Sure
this
was.
point, I feel good about having secured my top two, but
Yep.
I want to feel good about four wide receivers. So I feel good about quarterback, not as good at wide receiver as I would have liked to. That's the game. I felt comfortable with it. The reason I'm not stressing wide receiver right now, there are a couple of running backs that I feel great about as running back twos. One in particular that I am hoping will get to me. So
Right.
right now I want to see what Ace does, but there are a
Right.
couple left that I feel good about, and I'm going to
And
have
I'm
to
not
see.
taking them. I'm not taking them. I'm good at running back. I don't need to reach here.
You are good at running
I'm
back.
perfectly good at running back.
I don't think it's a reach. That's where we disagree. I don't think it's a reach. I feel great about the
Okay.
running back I expect to fall to me. We will see if that running back does in fact fall to me. What are you feeling right now?
Makes
So
sense.
at this
What I'm
point, I'm
seeing
looking at
here,
your team.
right?
I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, this is an ace team. This is a
It is.
monster. You are a
It is.
monster at running back. You are a monster at wide receiver.
I am.
And you have left yourself completely open at the most scarce position and the one where you need to secure your points most consistently. But this is an ace team. This
This is
is
insane.
this is how you
This is
rock. I
this is how
can't
I
rock
walk
this
away from
way
drafts.
because you're gonna go into week in, week out, trying to talk yourself into mid. That's what you were going to do. I don't
Ah,
like talking myself into mid. I like balance and feeling decent to solid everywhere.
I feel you.
So, are you even going to take a quarterback now, or are you
No.
committed to? Nah, I'm waiting.
Oh God, absolutely no. Jerry Judy, Cortland Sutton, Brandon Cooks, Chris Godwin. Godwin, everybody, everything is pointing towards Godwin playing week one. Godwin healthy week
So,
one.
so here's where we differ a bit because I don't disagree with anything you just said, but I'm scrolling down this wide receiver list, and I feel good about guys 15 to
There's a
20
lot of them.
spots further down,
A
which
lot of good ones.
was, in my opinion, part of the program is you want to secure your top wide receivers.
Yep.
Beyond that, the position stretches. I am banking all the positions stretching in the way that I need it to because I need to
And it
secure
will.
my running back right now. And right now, I'm looking at the board. I feel great about it. So the idea of you going for a fourth wide receiver while not securing your quarterback one, again, it's wild to me. God bless you, but it's wild to me.
Ah,
It is
I could not
wild
be
to me.
happier about this team, dog. I couldn't be happier. I couldn't
Yeah,
feel
yeah,
more at
and
peace.
you know it's funny. You always feel that way, and then around week 8, it starts settling in like this QB
Oh,
situation kind of trash. Me,
it never looks like this though. It never looks like this. This is where Snake starts to look like maybe this is the format for me. Maybe Snake is the way I need to go, and I didn't realize it. Because the wide receivers never look this beautiful, but the running backs look like that.
all
I'm
right,
always
fair
like,
enough.
yo,
All right,
what you got
so
for me on
yeah,
my
let's rock. So where you feeling right now?
I'm going tight end, man. There's only one tight end who I think is a step above these guys. I think Goddard is going to be wonder. Actually, I'm looking at it. I come
I like
along.
I like the tight end available. The tight end's available. I'm chilling.
I've
I'm
come
chilling.
along on one of these guys who I think is going to get back to me. So now we're going to go back here, like running back Kamara. I'm actually going to go running back because I don't like having just two running backs. So I'm going to go
All right.
ahead. I'm going to lock in here. People are sleeping on Elijah Mitchell for me this year. I think they're sleeping on him. I think they're sleeping on Elijah Mitchell heavy. I think it's his job. Nobody else is going to, like, there's no competition for that job right now. Trey Sermon's not
Make your
looking
pick,
great.
fam. Make your
I'm
pick,
taking
fam.
Elijah Mitchell, man,
See,
because I'm
and this is why Snake is trash. I gotta wait my fucking turn. What kind of bullshit is this? I really thought my man's gonna get back to me. He's sitting there
I
talking
see.
QB and wide receiver, and I'm sitting here like Elijah Mitchell, running back two, is perfect. And you gonna snatch him. Fuck Snake drafts. What the fuck you doing? I gotta wait my turn. Like I'm at the fucking bakery. Grab a number. We'll get to you in the order that you came. Nah, that's not how I like to rock. That's trash, man. That's fucking trash.
My team is so beautiful, dog.
See, now, me being me and knowing you, the one thing I will say is I completely get the pick. The value is absolutely great. I wanted to take him. Obviously, I'm not going to knock the value,
Hmm.
but I know you. You
Yes,
don't want to start a third running back. So, for all intents and purposes, you have just taken an insurance policy in terms of the way that you will actually
right.
roster your squad
I can
week to
see that.
week. I don't necessarily agree with that perspective, but I love the value.
I would start a third running back if it was somebody the caliber I think Elijah Mitchell is going to be when he's on the field.
All right, well, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. So, I feel far less good about my running back two situation than I would have a moment ago.
Right.
So I look at this, and there's one I feel slightly better about than the rest, but at this point, that's not worth me doing. The way that I have my board, that is just not worth it anymore.
Right.
Elijah Mitchell was worth taking. I don't like to reach when there is better value elsewhere. We have talked about these wide receivers. There are a few that I really, really like to the
There's
point
some
that
beautiful
right
wide receivers
now,
out here, man.
what I am thinking right at this moment is I'm going to snatch a wide receiver now. I'm going to come back on the turn. I'm going to snatch another. I'm going to feel great about my wide receiver position. I feel
Yes.
good about my. I feel pretty damn good about quarterback, running
Me
back too.
too.
It's not what I wanted. It's not what I wanted. But Elijah Mitchell's gone. He was the last difference-making running back too. Everybody else kind of has a. I think it can work, but I don't love it for one reason or another. So if that's the case, I'm going to grab wide receivers that I love. All right, the board falls how it falls. You got to be ready to adapt.
I love the adaptation. Love it.
Right here at the top is a guy that we feel differently on. I see this as a top 20-ish wide receiver in Jerry Judy.
Okay.
I really like him as Russ's number one. There are just wide receivers that I like more on the board.
Right.
I'm not trusting their board. We talked
You
about
think
Chris
Judy's number
Godwin.
one? I think Cortland Sutton's
You
number
think
one.
Cortland Sutton. Godwin, I love. I am a Chris Godwin guy. The reports are sounding more and more glowing that he will be
Yep.
back. That being said, I think that there is someone with similar upside that is safer and not coming off said injury. A guy that my man Ace has talked about constantly. Give me
Brandon
Brandon Cooks. Who the hell else they going to throw to?
I love it, man.
And they're going to be down in a lot of games throwing the ball a lot. I
I
like
love
Brandon
it.
Cooks. If I'm slotting him into a flex spot, let's cook.
Oh,
No
that's a
pun
monster.
intended. No pun intended.
Debo, Pittman, Cooks, like it gets.
But then it comes back around, and my guy is now still available to me. So I'm going to go ahead and a wide receiver four, grab Godwin. But before I do that, I don't want to get it too far ahead of myself. Let me just check on the running backs. Is there a running back here that I feel good about running back two that I need to take right now?
Nah, not for me.
Not from a tier standpoint. I have preferences, but from a tier standpoint,
Right.
absolutely not. There is nobody in the tier of the wide receivers that I'm looking at. So
Right.
then I come back around, Chris Godwin. But before I take Chris Godwin, there's somebody else that I have not been thinking about. So there are two guys actually, like the wide receiver stretch.
I'm
Like
intrigued.
I don't like Smith Schuster as a person,
Nope.
but he's going to get the ball plenty in Kansas City.
I think so.
That being said, he is not the guy. I see
I
a
think I know
guy
where you're going.
here who could to touch riskier, but it's wide receiver four. I can
Allen Robinson.
afford to be a bit riskier. No.
No.
There was a guy who was the consensus best wide
Ooh.
receiver alive for about 18 months. Then he hurt his
Ooh.
ankle
You're
with
going
3 minutes
here.
left in a blowout, blocking in the red zone, which
You're
was the
going
most baffling
here
decision ever. Wide receiver four, I like the upside.
with the upside.
I
With
like
the
the upside.
monster upside
And
that he
the
still
thing
has.
is, what's the downside? That he's a decent wide receiver four? That's cool.
That's
But if it
perfectly
works
fine.
out, my wide receivers go from looking very, very good to looking amazing. So at this point in the draft, this is a bit of an upside pick. I will take Michael Thomas. Everything is saying he finally looks
Wow.
healthy in New Orleans.
That I did not
And
see.
if he is healthy, at this point in the draft, I feel fine taking a flyer on him. And I hate to say hoping for the best, but you're hoping for the best with the sixth pick in the draft. I'm hoping for the best at pick wherever the hell we are right now.
I was going to take Chris Godwin 2 rounds ago. There's no way 7th round I'm not taking Chris Godwin. Wide
Fair
receiver
enough.
room is looking crazy. Running back room crazy. Quarterback is still exactly what I thought it would be.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, Chris
That's what you
Godwin.
wanted. That's
Let's
what you
lock it.
wanted. Fair
Simple for me.
enough.
It's simple for me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I cannot knock it one bit. One bit.
Now, what's coming around? Like another run on these. Now we're getting to the point. Now the wide receiver starting to win. This Jerry Judy drop is interesting. Now, oh my God.
Nah,
Now
he's
it comes
gone.
down to am I taking like we know I love Gabe Davis.
Mm-hmm.
We know I love Gabriel Davis.
Hmm.
Gabriel Davis would just be unnecessary at this point. Kind of with how I'm constructing because there is one guy. There's one tight end who I think is a step above everybody else here.
Okay.
Um, I just like touchdown upside,
I,
reception
I don't
target.
I don't know who you're talking about, so I'm actually on like the pin.
It's
Like,
just full touchdown upside for what I think Josh Allen is going to do.
fair
Putting
enough.
Dawson Knox at tight end here still has enough. It keeps me close enough in my mind to where people are at tight end to where I'm not at a deficit at all. I love Cole Kmet. He's a guy who I would love to have on a team. I just feel like the upside of
You don't
Dawson
think he's
Knox.
if you don't think he's that sort of if you don't think that he's going to be the level of difference maker, go with the difference
Nope,
maker.
nope. And I
Absolutely.
think I think Dawson Knox 100% is a difference maker.
Fair
Now
enough.
I'm set at tight end. Next round, we put me out of my misery, and I'm starting to look at quarterback.
So at this point, admittedly, it makes all the sense in the world to finally grab a running back too.
Mm,
Right now, I feel not great, but I feel decent enough about the running back two options, given that I
okay.
have Henry. However, I,
However,
I'm coming back around in about 6, 7 picks, and there are enough of these guys that, again, we draft in tiers. I may have a preference, but they are all in the same tier. I am extremely confident that there is one that I'm hoping to fall to me. I'll admit that, and if I get him, I'm gonna be happy. But if I don't, whatever, we're in the same tier. So let's see what
right.
else is on the board. Gabe Davis.
Oh, I love some Gabe Davis.
Gabe Davis, like he is going to be the absolute wide receiver two on what I feel will be the best
The
offense
best
in
offense in football.
football. So
Yep.
taking Gabe Davis here as a wide receiver five, I feel great about my wide receiver room. And I have mitigated the risk of taking Michael Thomas, though I actually feel good about the Michael Thomas pick, maybe better than I should, but everything finally sounds optimistic. It has not sounded optimistic on Thomas in a very long time.
Yep.
I look at tight end, absolutely nobody that I want to take there, whatever. That being said, quarterbacks are currency.
Mm.
Do I love the value of the quarterbacks for my roster? Not necessarily. But I like the insurance at a position where you can't find it later. And I know that mid-season quarterback always gains value. It happens in
Okay.
every two quarterback league you will ever participate in. They are currency. Put them in the bank. Let them collect a little interest. I'm gonna turn this. What round are we in? I literally don't even know what round
It's
we're in.
round 8.
We're in round 8. I'm going to get a round 4 to 5 level player for this round 8 pick within
Okay.
about 3 to 4 weeks because that's how I work.
I
And
can
I
see
feel
that.
good enough at running back. However, nah. I can't. I can't. It's Gabe Davis. It's Gabe Davis.
It's Gabe Davis, B.
Upside's too great.
It's
It's Gabe
Gabe Davis,
Davis.
B.
It's Gabe Davis. I was going to outsmart myself. Don't outsmart yourself. Just take the best player sometimes. It's Gabe
Take
Davis.
Gabe Davis, B.
It, it's Gabe Davis in the 8th round. Also, I'm still very upset about Elijah Mitchell. This is why.
Are you?
That is literally why snake drafts are trash. That is literally the reason. Wait your
Cousins,
turn.
yo, listen, Cousins
Like
and
it is
somebody
literally.
for you gonna put Cousins is coming up on the board for Elijah Mitchell or something like this. Yo,
No,
listen,
I wouldn't make that. I wouldn't make that trade. I wouldn't make that trade.
depending on how the draft ends up,
No, I wouldn't make that trade because what
I
I know.
I'm
Because what
very
I know.
intrigued.
Because 4 weeks from now, I don't want Elijah Mitchell for Kirk Cousins.
Okay.
I want Alvin Kamara for Kirk Cousins because again, quarterback value. It sounds wild now. I'm telling you, it does. But every two quarterback league I've ever okay, I participated in the league last year where around week 6,
Mm-hmm.
Carson Wentz was traded for Cooper Cup,
He
and it made
was.
sense.
Ugh.
And that's how disgusting it was. Carson Wentz and something else. It was Carson Wentz and a
It doesn't
decent
matter.
wide receiver. No, it was a
Oh,
decent wide receiver. I want to say it might have been Mooney. It was somebody decent enough. It's like, all right, you'll get some numbers. But that sounds wild. But there were no quarterbacks
it does.
available. And like it's one of those things. They're money in the bank. So it is. Wait, it's back on me.
Yeah, it's back on you,
It,
my
it,
man.
It is back on me. And the running back I would have taken a few moments ago is still on the board, which is exactly what I want.
Mm.
Now, in a perfect world, Kareem Hunt value wise would absolutely be the pick. I think he's going to be incredibly productive. Personally, I just don't want anything to do with the Browns this year under any
Right.
circumstances. That's just a personal decision. I don't want to rock with them in any way. I don't want to root for their success in any way.
Yep.
But Kareem Hunt is the best running back on the board, to be clear.
If he's out for a year, Kareem Hunt hops up my board far though.
The guy, absolutely. I would have taken him last round and not thought twice if
Yep.
under that circumstance. The guy that I was hoping would fall to me and come back around, and I have just taken, is Rashad Penny. The reason for that, Ken Walker might not be ready for the season.
He might
That
not.
was announced a few hours ago. If that is a one running back backfield,
Rashad
I
Penny's
like that
getting
one running
25
back.
touches.
Now, here's the thing.
Isn't he hurt
They
too
pay.
though?
He's going to be fine now. Everything
Okay.
I've heard says he's going to be fine.
Perfect.
At least to play week one, he'll be good to go. The
Oh,
big
then
thing
we're good.
is the big thing with Penny for me is simply they paid to keep him around this year. They could have let him walk.
They damn sure
They
did.
invest, and he looked really good at the end of last year. If he goes in and has 2 to 3 good weeks before Walker really hits the ground running, he's not going to be splitting carries. It's going to be a 60-40, 70-30 type split.
Yep.
And if that's the case with their quarterback options, those touches might not be efficient, but you're giving me 15 to 18 touches a week at running back 2. I feel great about it.
I can't be mad at that at all. Especially if he's gonna be ready for week one. That makes perfect sense to me. Absolutely. We gotta go quarterback because why not? So I have been perfectly fine all season. He's
You going with my
so
guy?
basic. He's so
You going
basic.
with him? You going with him? That's
He's so
quarterback
basic.
1.
He
Yeah,
said,
I
"Oh
can't live
no,
this way.
oh
I
no,
can't
my
live this
guy's
way.
quarterback too, because he's gonna drop. I'm not worried about it. Like nobody's gonna take him until I get there, you know. So, well, I don't know. You might on some other shit and make me take some dude. You know
I
what?
need depth. I need depth. So I don't. I'm going to grab one of these quarterbacks sooner than later.
I know, but I know who. If we go by what you have been saying, I know who you grabbing. I'm gonna take Ryan
At
Tannehill.
this
He's starting
at
every
this
single
point,
game. He's
he
gonna throw the
is.
ball. That's all I need. Just give me some points up there. We're gonna be fine. This roster that I've constructed is so spooky that I don't need spooky yet. I just need two quarterbacks. Here's where Ace gets super. Ace goes into league sometimes with one quarterback and a possible. Like that's what happens.
Here's the thing. In a 2 QB league, I think you have devalued the most important position.
I know you do.
So we see these things vastly differently.
I know
Because I
you
look
do.
at your group and I'm like, this is sick. And it's still gonna be dope as hell after you have to trade one of those really, really top level pieces to get you a quarterback who's worth a damn because you just lost because Tannehill had his 3 interception game of the season and threw 8 for 22 for 96 yards and gave you -2 points.
That shit happens, bro. It happens to the best of us. That shit happens, yeah. And I expect it. You know it happens, and I know it happens every year. And I keep
It,
looking. I'm
it,
just
it
like,
does.
oh,
It
so
does.
what?
Look,
So what?
we
It
live
happens.
differently. We
I
live
get it.
differently.
We
We live
100%
differently.
live differently.
We
But there's
live
no,
differently.
there's really no one on this board who I should take over another quarterback just because I want. And this is my guy. I absolutely think this guy is going to finish above guys like
Okay.
Fields,
For the
guys like
record,
Mac
he
Jones.
normal circumstances he would wait still. He knows I would snatch him just to be petty.
100%. You can't have Davis Mills. He's mine.
Fair
He
enough.
belongs to me.
To be fair, Davis Mills isn't who I wanted at my quarterback 3 regardless. I just wanted you to pick him just a touch earlier than you would have. But you know what? You're right. From a value standpoint, it wouldn't have made sense for you to
No,
pass up on quarterback into a risk bid again.
nope.
I am elated that my tight end of choice has lasted for me this long. I've been
My man
waiting on it.
Cole.
You know it's Cole. Cole
My
World, baby.
man
Look,
Cole.
look. I happen to think that Cole
I
Kmet, we
like
talked
Cole
about it.
Komet, man.
I truly believe he is a top 10 tight end this year. I think that he is top 6 upside if everything breaks right. Based on, look, I'm not going to judge on 1 week of preseason, but based on what I saw from Chicago, everything is not going to break right because that offensive line is still trash. Like, so I'm going to say more of like an 8 to 12 range for Cole Kmet, but I still like Cole Kmet. Ultimately, I think he's going to be the second highest pass catcher in that offense after Mooney. I think it's going to be Kmet after Mooney. I take him here. I feel great. I feel really, really good about the lineup.
They don't have
now it's all about getting depth. But I really like how they do not. They do not. So now my lineup, for all intents and purposes, is set because
it is
kicker and defense. What are we talking about? So I will wait on those. The first player on my bench is Gabe Davis, so I am feeling good about where I am. Gabe Davis is the first player on my bench. So at this point, I am no longer. I'm not to say that I'm not paying attention to positional value, but positional value really isn't the crux of this at this point. I just want to get players that I will feel okay playing. That being said, I switch over to wide receiver. Nobody that I'm loving. Everybody's in the same kind of cluster right now. I'm certainly not going to take another tight end.
Right.
Taking another quarterback and securing depth is appealing right now. That being said, I only have 2 running backs on the roster, and there was only 1 running back left that I would feel decent about playing under normal circumstances in a week if I had to start them. It is James Robinson.
Yep.
He's the only one left on the board that I feel somewhat good about. And ultimately, I don't know how that Jacksonville running game is going to go. It sounds much more like closer to a split than I would have liked when I was talking about Travis Etienne. It sounds a lot closer to a split at this point. So, James Robinson, you can do worse at this point in the draft for depth purposes.
100%. There's another running back who I feel just as good about that I don't have to take here. What I'm going to do, because I waited on quarterback and in this snake league. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Are we discussing who that running back is, or you think I'm going to snatch it? Because I don't plan on snatching the running back. I'm actually curious.
No, I picked before you anyway. So
okay, cool. Okay,
it's Nyheim Hines for me.
I figured that was the one. I just wanted to confirm. I was pretty sure that was the one.
Yep, absolutely, it's Nyheim Hines. They're going to want to. Jonathan Taylor's the safest pick in fantasy football for me. Unless you're in a league like this, and then I can see you going Josh Allen, that same type of. But if you're in a pick a running back, if you're picking number 1, you take Jonathan Taylor. I think that's the safest bet to go, even safer than Derrick Henry, who I have ranked as running back 1. But there is clear downside to Derrick Henry. What if his foot actually has a thing? He is a monster, but he's now 28 years old. Running backs don't finish as running back 1 once they hit that age. It's not something that happens. Derrick Henry's not from this planet. I don't worry about that. But Nyheim Hines is going to be on the field a lot. Matt Ryan throws the ball.
He likes his dump offs. He likes his
check down guy. They like to put Nyheim Hines out there. I think Nyheim Hines is a beautiful piece in the league like this. 12 teams, a little bit of deep roster. He's a beautiful piece that you can put there.
He's a great flex option.
Absolutely. In this type of draft, in the snake draft, where I've waited on quarterback, to me, it makes sense to try to get a few guys here to see who's going to actually stand out to be your 2 quarterbacks. This is what happens when you wait. This is what it looks like when you wait on quarterback. You don't just take 2 and be like, all right, cool, let's go back to the drawing board and start taking other positions. You snatch a few different guys. You snatch guys who you think have certain upside.
So I'm wondering if you're thinking about the guy that I'm thinking about. Go ahead.
Go ahead, dog.
No. I'm very curious.
If this is we're in round 11. This is an if everything breaks right type thing. If they're competitive with this person, what does it look like?
I'm
interested in Marcus Mariota. I'm intrigued by it.
That's not where I thought you were going.
I'm very intrigued by Mariota. So and Mariota is where I go here. Like Daniel Jones, listen,
so we're not gonna get on Jones. I'm not, because I don't want to laugh right now. I feel strongly about Mariota.
Yeah.
If we weren't doing these shows and talking about it, I would probably be much higher on Mariota than I am. But you raised the point. If Atlanta isn't good, even if Mariota's fine,
they're going to
want to see the rookie. And the
100%.
rookie looked decent over the weekend.
He didn't look
He
bad at
looked
all.
decent.
He
That's
didn't
the
look bad at
only
all.
thing that gives me pause is because when I grab my third quarterback, in your situation, you're going for the upside because if his upside hits, absolutely a steal at this point. In
100%.
my position, I want something safer because this really is about depth, covering me for bye weeks, and if a trade possibility comes along, hey, let's get it. So I would be a bit hesitant of the rookie coming along,
Right.
but the upside is immense. The upside's there.
It is. It is. And you take that. You do upside at this point because you stack such monster positions. You do that here. So you go, you take quarterback. I don't despise Daniel Jones. I don't, in fantasy purposes. I don't. But I'm not doing it, man. I can't. There's something
So
about
are you gonna go
imagining
are you
doing it.
gonna
I
go grab
can't,
another
man.
one? Are you grabbing another one?
Am I going to take a fourth quarterback is a very, very good question. It's a really good question. I think it's fair to do so. Because if
Mm-hmm.
you're looking at, because like you said, if you go by this team, if you go up and you have McCaffrey, Kamara, you have Devontae Adams, you have T. Higgins, you have Deontay Johnson, you have Chris Godwin, like things, you have Elijah Mitchell.
Mm-hmm.
You are set at certain positions that you don't have to worry about. Dawson Knox is one of those. I'm set at that position. I don't have to worry about it type things.
Wait, so you didn't take Hines. Who did you take that round? Did you take a quarterback?
I took Mariota that round, and I'm
That's
coming
when you
back
took
here.
Mariota. Okay.
I'm coming back here, and I don't. I'm not going to take the quarterback here. Here's where I'm going to take Naeem Hines
Okay, gotcha.
because there's a couple of quarterbacks who I'll be perfectly fine with adding as a fourth guy to
Mm-hmm.
just figure out who my quarterbacks are going to be. I'm not going to be out on quarterback. I'm not going to have zeros. I'm not going to have monster. I think Davis Mills is going to be a viable starting quarterback in a two quarterback league. High end quarterback too. That's just how I see them playing here. I saw enough of Davis Mills. I don't think he's trash. I've said it all
That's
season.
you.
I
You
think he's
have
going to be fine.
you've been very consistent there.
So here I'm going. Naeem Hines, because I talked about it. He's a guy who you look at James White type players. You look at a guy who Gio Bernard at his apex. Those type of guys are going to come in. They're going to have 10 to 12 touches a week. 5 or 6 of those are going to be catches. All that matters a whole lot.
All right, fair enough. So at this point, again, I'm just thinking what helps my team from a team building standpoint. Grabbing another quarterback here does make sense because we are getting low on quarterbacks who are actually going to be starting. There is a running back I really, really like for depth. I halfway don't want to take him into the space because I do not want to put it in the ether that I like him so much, but we said that we are going to do this right. So that means giving away my little sleepers as well.
You have mentioned Khalil Herbert, just in case that is the guy.
I have, and he is my second sleeper.
Okay.
There's a much more recent development in how I feel about this. That being said, now's not the time to risk it. There are only about 4 to 6 viable starters. None of these dudes are good. These dudes suck. All right. So what I'm looking for at this point, look, I feel great about my QB 1 and 2, so I'm not stressing that.
Right.
And both of whom have been pretty durable for the most part during their careers. So I feel pretty good about there. The top of our QB board, again, I'm not touching Watson. It's not happening. I don't care. If it's 6 games, 4 years, just no. Carson Wentz, the people
Wow.
here in DC are really trying to talk themselves into this, and I am laughing because I know how this ends for them. I know how
Carson
this ends.
Wentz.
This ends with them calling for Heineke. No, I'm not taking Carson Wentz. I'm just establishing he sucks. Jared Goff, he sucks, but his teammates somehow seem to believe in him. I don't think Jared Goff gets
Uh,
benched. That's kind of the big
no,
thing
I
for
don't think so
Goff.
either.
I don't think he gets benched, so he's in consideration. We'll circle back. Baker, I just don't want him on my team. I had him on 2 different teams last year. I traded them both. That dude is terrible to root for. It's an awful experience. A new city isn't going to fix it.
Nope.
Honestly, Sam Darnold's going to take that job back by midseason. They're
Sure
just going to
is.
trade off being mediocre all year. Nah. So then it's like, all right, so what do I do?
I'm so intrigued. I'm so intrigued.
Mitch, I like Mitch,
I don't
but
mind
it's
Mitch,
also
man.
it's
Take
young
my
QB
guy.
syndrome.
Come on now. Come
I
on
think
now.
he's
Come
trash,
on now.
but I think he is fantasy viable. And I've come
Come on.
around on this literally today.
Come on.
Today, you have to be willing to adapt. They're going to give him the full year because they have to know once and forever if this dude can
Come
play or
on
not.
now.
Daniel Jones, QB3.
Come on now. Oh, Daniel. It's good to see you, man. It's good to see you on that board, bro.
It comes
He's not.
back around. I have the opportunity to just lock in a QB4 here, which is purely with the intent of one of these
Yep.
quarterbacks on my bench is going to get traded later.
Yep.
I think I can get more in such a trade than I can from any of the players on the board.
Mm.
That being said,
Don't do it.
there is one guy I do feel fairly strongly about.
Relax.
Um,
Calm down. Calm down.
I keep wondering if we're thinking the same dude, because if we're not
Calm
thinking the
down.
same dude, he's going to come back around. But I know you, and you
Calm
know
down.
me. And we
Calm
haven't
down.
discussed this. I swear, we have not discussed this player. The name has never come out with us discussing things.
Mm-hmm.
This is a late round flyer. He might be worth absolutely nothing to my team, to be clear. I acknowledge that going in. When you make a pick like
Mm-hmm.
this, you need to understand the downside that this might just be a wasted pick, that by week 3, he is off on waivers, whatever,
Yep.
you charge to the game, you move on. However,
Oh Lord.
I see a scenario where he is running back 1 for a run heavy team. That
Oh
team may not be
Lord.
very good, but I see a scenario where he is running back 1 for
Calm
a run
down.
heavy team. So I hate the team. I hate
Calm
being
down,
around
bro.
them when they are good, but there's been a lot of buzz locally.
Calm down, bro.
So I am taking Washington running back Robinson because look, they don't seem very
Bama,
happy
bro.
with Antonio Gibson right
Bama,
now. They
don't.
do not. They got the man on punt team. He
I
is
was
he is participating in punt team. That
round
is not some stuff
15 was
we do with running back 1.
round 15 was Brian
McKinney,
Robinson
look, look, look,
round,
look, look.
man.
McKissick is going to be his role isn't going to change regardless of who the main running back is. So it's a matter of who's running back 1, who's running back 3. Right
That won't
now, things
change.
seem to be trending in the direction of
That won't hurt.
Robinson being running back 1. And
That won't
because
hurt.
I'm not quite as secure in my running back 2, what I want on my bench are running backs with upside.
That
So I
won't hurt.
feel great about that pick.
That
You
won't
know,
stump.
send Elijah Mitchell if you're so hurt and stunned, asshole. Dude was talking about quarterback and wide receiver and this. And I was like, but you know who I really want? Trash, man. Gotta wait your turn. Yeah, snake draft
This
is
shit
trash.
is the dumbest.
20 minutes ago, you talking about snake drafts might be the wave. Now you see why they trash again. Because you gotta wait in line
You
like
gotta
you're
wait in
getting bread on
line, B.
Sunday morning, and it's
Yeah, and all this.
trash.
Oh wait, there's no more pumpernickel left. That sucks. Okay. I
Y'all
guess I'll
couldn't put
take
up a sign like I've been in line for 15 minutes.
You know what I'm saying? Anybody
Put
out here
something
looking
up
for
on a
pumpernickel? Yes.
window.
We
You
gone.
know,
I would have stepped right out of line and left, bro. I'd have went
the
to
hell you
somewhere
mean?
else.
Yeah, like what you mean?
Now
The
I'm in here.
Colombian roast is gone. The Colombian roast. That's what I'm here for. Is the Colombian
Why? This is
roast.
the only. This is the only place that has. All right, man. I hate all y'all then. So we're gonna keep it simple, man.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Quarterback. I will take one more before the draft over. I'll take him next round because
Okay.
there's one player on this board who I think can come in and be a legit player. I took him in our first mock draft that we did together. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
take him here.
Okay.
Devontae Parker is clearly the number one out there. I
I
feel
liked
it.
him more before all the shithousery of New England started coming out over the past few weeks
I do.
because nothing
I
bad
feel
ever
that.
comes from Patriots reporters. So for them to be like, yo, this shit looking bad, B,
This shit
got
looking
me thinking
crazy
that
out
it's
here.
looking really, really bad out there.
This shit looking crazy out here.
There was one
Um,
writer who writes for Patriots.com that basically was like, this looks terrible. That's when I was like,
uh,
it's so bad that he is not worried about Belichick getting upset. Where he can just be like, yo, Bill, you see this shit. You know this
Bill's gonna
shit look
figure.
bad. You know
I
this shit
can't
look bad.
imagine Bill not figuring out how to make this make sense. Though I can't. He's never shown me anything to where it doesn't like. There's a lot of talent on here. Like
Is there?
Julio's a
You're talking about the board, not New England. I'm sorry. I was like,
oh
New England really
no.
ain't that talented. They're
Oh
really
no.
not.
No no
Really
no.
not.
Mm-mm. Them dudes are the replacements. Um Julio. What up, Julio?
Why they have to be Dallas in that movie? Like,
Because God is good all the time. I don't know what to tell you. So we're looking at Devontae Parker. Like
yeah,
people take, you know what? If
I
you're one
like
of those
him.
guys who
I
take two
like him.
tight ends, I hate you. I just want to let you know because that's silly. You should
Now,
have
at this
like,
point in the draft, I like Parker quite a bit. Makes all the
yeah,
sense for him.
absolutely. So I'm gonna take Devontae. I'm gonna lock him in because quarterback again. Now, here's what I'll say about quarterback though.
Hmm.
The you may be in a draft where guys that are left on this board aren't there. People might legit want three, four quarterbacks on their team, and you might not have the ability to do what I'm about to do and roster a starting fourth quarterback
Hmm.
because
Which one?
of the commodity.
Which one are you
Now,
taking?
which one is a very good question
Because
because it's
they're all in the
all
same. They're all in the same shitty
it's
tier. Like,
all
let's. So, who
this
is the least shitty, or who has the highest upside of the bunch? We may disagree on this because for me, there's a clear answer for me.
the least shitty, most
Most upside and least shitty are not the same guy for me.
it's not. Most upside, if everything goes right,
It's
I
Mitch.
think
Gotta be Mitch. It's gotta be
100%.
Mitch. It's
I
gotta be
just think
Mitch.
I don't
But
know
he's
how good the
Mitch.
Steelers are going to be. I don't know how good the Steelers are going to be as far as games. They took a quarterback. They might want to see Kenny Pickett. Not going to do it. I'm cool. I already got my upside guy, Mariota.
Okay.
That's fine.
All right.
Baker, hell no. Not doing it. Wentz, we talked about. I think
I
Wentz is
do
worse
think
than Daniel
I do
Jones.
think that I do think that Baker might be the least shitty, but
I don't think he's
that
the
dude
least
ain't a
shitty.
leader of men. He's not a leader. There's something
I don't
about
think he's the least shitty though. I
you think
don't.
it's golf?
I think Jared Goff is less shitty than Baker Mayfield, bro.
May I remind you of something before you lost a week last year.
I
Me
did
and you were talking as this happened,
as it
where
happened.
DeAndre Swift was
Wide
like
open.
18 yards wide open. There was nobody around him. It is a
Go back a few moments.
5 yard dump
Go back a
off.
few moments. I texted you, yo, this shit over. This shit trash. You were like, yo, I feel like I feel like the DeAndre
No,
Swift
no,
drive is
because
coming,
Swift
and I'm
started
like, all
eating
right,
out of nowhere.
cool.
No, he was actually eating for a little while
So
before it.
he got bang 3 catches on this drive. I'm 1 catch away from the most
You're like
improbable,
half a point off,
and
and
I'm
he
like,
slipped in a
oh,
5 yard throw.
bang in there, wide open. Swift running
Three
three
yards
yards
short on
behind
a
him.
5 yard pass.
And I look at my phone, and all I see is crying faces coming from my man's. Like when I say this is my man's, like I don't think y'all understand.
I
Y'all say
don't.
something to him, I'm coming where you are, and it's a wrap. This is my man's,
It was
and I just
so
see crying
hilarious
faces.
because I knew how much it hurt. Because I don't remember if it was fourth down or if
It was fourth
DeAndre
down,
ran.
dog.
Oh, it was fourth down, so you knew
It was
that was a
fourth
wrap.
and four. You know what I'm saying? And they left DeAndre open for some reason. I'm like, good. Nope. Golf threw that shit with his left hand. I
So
hate the
just to be
team so
clear,
much.
this is the
This
guy
is
that
the
you were
worst
banking
game
on
ever.
being least shitty. So
This
go
is
ahead
the
and take him.
worst game
Take
ever.
off.
On Crip, I'm not taking him. Mitch Trubisky, welcome to my team. Going Mitch Select. Go to hell, Jared Goff.
You
Oh
see that
my
right there?
gosh,
You see
bro.
that? No, no, no. Look. You see that? I just mind fucked you because I definitely wanted Jared Goff, so I'm gonna go ahead
That's
and take him
fine.
right
I don't
here.
care, bro. That shit means nothing to me. I slept 2 hours that night. Out of sheer principle, he can go die in 2 fires for me right now. Out of sheer principle, I forgot all about that till just now.
Oh,
That was
jeez.
top 5 worst things that happened to me that year. I was like, oh my god, yeah, bro, can't do it. Missed the bye week by 1 game because of this book. I can't, bro. I
All
can't.
right, so
Go ahead and pick your
at
little
this
dude, man.
at this point, I am looking at my team. Um, my last two picks are going to be kicker and defense, so this is the
Yep.
last piece of my bench. I feel that I've gone with some upside picks, so I just like to get somebody at this point that can be a useful player and that I feel confident will be a useful player because I have gone with some upside picks. I feel great about my big upside pick in Robinson. I feel even better knowing that you wanted him. Take that, take that, take that. Anyway.
I hate your guts. I don't know why. I don't know. Yeah, I was like round 15. Robinson, I'm about to cook. I'm gonna get my little soliloquy on this shit. No,
So at this point, it's like, is there a
give
running
me your
back that I feel
glasses.
good about? And honestly, Raheem Mostert is the one that jumps out at me because of the upside of it, as we've discussed in the past. But it's never fun having him, at least except those few weeks where he does play. So then I look at the wide receivers. Nobody that
Oh,
I feel
Mostert, man.
crazy about. Um, that being said, I see a guy who, in theory, is going to be the starting slot for what I feel would be the best offense in all of football. So I'm just going
Okay.
to keep it simple and go with that. I have no problem stacking Buffalo Bills this year because they are going to be freaking awesome. He is going to
Jameson.
miss half the season, but the weeks where he's around, he's going to be useful. So I'm going to go ahead and take Jameson Crowder with my not last actual pick.
That makes perfect sense to me. Makes perfect sense to me. I've got enough wide receivers to where we're gonna go. What's the maximum running back upside? Like, what's the maximum? Who's gonna be? And you look at it, it's probably who you were just talking about. It's
Can,
probably
can,
Mostert.
can I can I pause you?
You sure can.
There is a running back you have to take here. And I say this as your man. You need to take this running back, or I
Oh
am
yeah.
literally going to judge you.
Oh yeah. I know. Like maximum upside is
No,
Raheem
no, no, no.
Mostert.
Oh, is that who you're going to take, or are you going to take the
No,
guy you need to take?
I need you to relax. I need you to calm down.
No,
I
no,
need you to
no.
let
There's
me
a
unpack
person you
this. I need you
need
to
to
let me. I
take.
need you to let me unpack this dinner so that we can eat nice. Just let me. You know
Like,
what I'm
because
saying?
last round, if I really
Maximum.
wanted to be a
I
dick, I
need
was going
you.
to
I
take him
need you to relax.
just to be a
I
dick.
need.
I was
I
going
need
to,
you.
but
The
I was
only
like,
thing I
nah,
need
nah,
you to
nah,
do
B.
is
You,
calm
he
down.
keeps saying that you his
I just
man's,
need you
and
to
then you
chill.
sending him crying
I
emojis.
just
I'm
need you
trying
to
to be good.
relax.
I'm trying to be good.
The only thing
All
I
right,
need you to do is
okay.
just take a breath. We're
You
gonna
got
be
it,
all right,
B.
man.
You got it,
Because
baby.
Raheem Mostert, monster upside, dude. Incredible. Mark Ingram, you talked me out of like Mark Ingram. Kamara is going to be suspended next year. I don't, I don't know who Mark Ingram is. What's the point? I'm not even doing this with you. As a Christian McCaffrey owner, there's one single pick that you make here, and probably should have did it earlier just to be safe. But I saw how the board was
If
going.
we're in a real draft, understand,
I do.
especially I
Oh my.
participate in salary caps with him. I'm taking him. I'm waiting for him to bid $1 when he's broke, so I can bid two, and then I'm going to hit him up right after the draft. Like, what you sending me for your handcuff? You know you need it.
Right, right.
You know
All
you
of a
need it.
sudden, I'm sending Naeem Hines for Chuba Hubbard, and that's good. And I'm saying yes
Look,
because you have to do
extortion
it.
is bad. It is a bad thing to do.
But you got to do it, baby.
Extorting people in fantasy football
It's
is
necessary.
good. This
It's
is how you
necessary.
win.
Right. And how
Yeah,
you
you
win.
need this. I'm gonna need you to overpay for this piece that you need to have that
Period.
I don't even really want, but I'm gonna make you overpay to get it anyway.
And I got nothing to do with that, man.
I'm
Got
not here
nothing to
for
do with. I
friends.
don't.
I'm
I
here
don't
to
care how
win.
you feel about it.
I'm here to win.
Don't matter how you feel about it. If you take it personally, you need to reevaluate yourself, man. This is fantasy football. We're gonna be
Should
all
have
right.
done better. Should have done better.
You're gonna be all right. There's one pick to take as a Christian McCaffrey owner. You take Chuba Hubbard. You don't look at anything else. You don't care who else is on the board. It doesn't. I don't care who fell this far. I can't believe it. You take Chuba Hubbard. You protect your asset.
Absolutely. He is mid, but he has been. It's shown that he is mid who will get the ball if Christian is not playing.
Kicker defense. We're gonna zoom through this because who cares? So
Uh,
yeah,
well, actually, you should care because there's a kicker who is legitimately worth a damn, the best kicker potentially ever. I,
yeah,
you know,
that boy good.
you
That
know,
boy good. That boy
he's
good.
great.
That
He's
boy good.
great.
He's probably gonna go to. He's probably the best kicker ever, right?
Look. As a fan of a team who had a great kicker for like 3 years, but him missing a kick might have cost us a playoff game, and then he became trash, and we've had no good kicker since. I have an immense amount of respect for Justin Tucker. Our kicker could barely make extra points last year.
He's
Justin Tucker
unbelievable.
just hit here, banging out 60 yarders, not worried about.
He's
Unless
unbelievable.
there's
He
a
doesn't miss.
defense that's really good.
Like I look at the defenses. Chargers. Chargers are gonna have a good defense. Look at that division. I'm not playing that defense against Russell Wilson. Derek Carr with Adams and Renfro and all the and Pat. Like I'm not doing that, bro.
But
That's
it
fine.
is a good defense. I think
It
it will be
is
a good defense, but not a statistically good defense.
right, and all you care about is numbers here. That's all that comes down. Yo, we got
However,
guys on the defense.
however, however, one thing I will say: if you play in a league where you pay attention to the scoring and your defense happens to get really good points for sacks, a team with Bosa and Mack
And
becomes
Khalil
very
Mack
appealing.
matters.
Becomes
It does.
very, very appealing.
It's a very good point. It's a very good point. Um, I'm still not doing it because
Nor
Russell's
should you.
mobile enough. He can get away from guys like you look at little thing, the small things. Russell Wilson can get away from that. Smart scrambler doesn't get hit. Pat extends plays. He can get out of the way. That's perfect. Little things like that. You take the best kicker ever to live. You take Justin Tucker, and then you wait for defense, and whoever's best there is best there. Because we're gonna go over these teams. Because you was cooking it, AB. You was cooking
So
it today.
as far as kicker, as Ace said, who cares? Unless you have like the best kicker ever. The way that I generally go about it is good kicker on a great
On
offense.
a
The
great
Rams
offense.
offense is going to be awesome. I thought about Harrison Butker, but the only thing is they play outside. The Rams don't. It's that simple for me. So I'll go ahead and take Rams kicker. I legitimately don't know that man's first name. It
Matt
doesn't
Gay,
matter
isn't it?
either. It is. That is his name, Matt. And I will
Matt,
forget it by the time I close my laptop.
you will. You probably forgot it now. So, and then now we're on to these defenses. Who cares? Just get
Eh,
one who's going to score.
you know what? I actually like the Ravens defense. I
You
don't
like them
even
this
know if
year?
they're going to
Okay.
be that good, but it's just one of those things where, when in
Ravens and
doubt,
defense
take
go
the
together.
Ravens defense.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's the last round. Who cares?
Yep.
Whatever. I'm going to stream defenses half the time anyway.
Yep. It's the same thing for me with something like Steelers defense. TJ Watt gets sacks. They're going to play hard. Browns probably going to start Brissett for most of this year, so they got that. They'll get lit up by Burrow on them. But like the Broncos is the same thing. Broncos are going to have a good statistical defense, but they're in that monster division. Patriots defense is going to be all right. You know what? We're going to go with Bill, man. We're going to go with the Patriots. Actually, ooh, I'm not taking the Eagles. Kiss my ass. We're going to go ahead and go with the Patriots. Sit there and wallow in suffering forever, Eagles. I don't give a shit about you. I'm mad I can't call you the Smeagles no more. That's what I'm mad at.
So I'm looking at these
So let's go ahead and
teams.
drop this down. Let's go ahead and drop this down for the
So what
viewers
we
to
doing?
see.
Yeah.
Now, here's the deal. I 100% completely understand if people think your team is easily better because of your quarterback room.
I don't. I don't.
100%.
I don't think it's easily better. I don't. I think that last time I thought your team was easily better than mine. It was fair is fair. This time, I don't necessarily think that my team is better. I would say that I prefer my team in the same way I'm sure you prefer your team because
Right.
our drafts this time are a true reflection of how we generally like to actually build
Yes,
teams.
it is.
Whereas my first mock was not a reflection of how I like to build a team. You want to call this crap redemption? Well, I feel redeemed because I actually
That
really
team,
like my squad.
I love that team, dog.
The wild card is running back two. If running back
That-
two can just be decent, that team would be a mob. And if running back two is not decent, I feel good enough that I would be able to piece it together because I feel great at quarterback.
You
I
can figure
feel
it out.
great at wide receiver.
That wide receiver
And
room is spooky.
and I actually feel pretty decent that by week 6, one of my bench running backs would be a viable running back too. It's just a matter of which one. So whatever, I could bide my time meanwhile. But my team is built more for depth. Your team, that running back and wide receiver stack is mean. The idea of starting Ryan Tannehill week in, week out makes me nauseous. So I'm not knocking the team. I think the team looks scary.
Yeah.
I like to feel secure at quarterback. You like to live dangerously. We differ. I will say this: had he not taken Elijah Mitchell and I got him as running back two, I would say
Yeah.
that I felt my team was definitively better. So fuck
Yeah.
you for that. I'm sorry, that was probably a bit strong. But man, you really were talking about QB and wide receiver for 4.5 minutes. It took my running back 2 spots ahead of me. Which again is why Snake I don't enjoy
Is
it because waiting your
the
turn is trash. Because in an auction, I would
oh
just say,
shit.
yeah, that's worth an extra $2. That's cool. I'll go an extra $2 for that. But no, I didn't have that opportunity. I gotta wait my turn.
You did. You had to wait your turn, dog. You had to. And sometimes you gotta wait your turn in life, man. Sometimes it happens. Yeah, I mean, my this is a team
This is
where
your team.
if you can, if I had be close his eyes and then not see any of this and say, "Yo, which team did you draft?" He would absolutely pick out the team that I drafted. He'd look at it top to bottom and say, "Yep, yep, yep, that's you. Who? Tannehill and Mills? You'll talk yourself into that just like now, and I'll talk myself into Tannehill, Mills, Mariota, Trubisky. I'll start two of them, and I'll be fine because McCaffrey and Kamara, monster. Adams, Higgins, Deontay Godwin, monster. Elijah Mitchell, monster. Like this is how I draft, and I'd be perfectly fine until
So I did
week
make
6.
so there was one adjustment I made having in large part because we've gone back and forth over the last month and a half,
Okay,
however long it's been. Generally, mid draft, I like to stay a touch safer.
okay.
There is something to be said for taking a flyer on some
Michael
big
Thomas.
upside.
Michael
The
Thomas.
Michael Thomas pick versus because you have Godwin there, and I'm looking at Godwin on your team, and I'm like, man, I want Godwin because I always want Chris Godwin on my
Right.
squad.
But you took Thomas over him.
I took Thomas over him, and I think that I think the floor for Godwin is higher. To be clear,
Yes.
I feel a lot better about what I know I will get from Godwin. I just see a scenario where I don't think he's going to be pre-injury Michael Thomas. I think it'd be unfair to expect that of him.
I think so too.
But the man's never been fast. He's never been quick. He runs 3 routes, and somehow he always gets open on those 3 routes. I have no reason to believe that he won't still get open on those 3 routes.
Yep.
If he's healthy, he's going to run his slant. He's going to run his dig. He's going to run his in. He's not going to go
Every
outside the
time.
numbers. He's not going
Yep.
to run more than 15 yards down the field.
Nope.
It's not going to matter. He's going to go ahead and catch 90 passes for about 1,200 yards. The Saints won't be very good, and I'm not going to care. Long as I don't see Taysom Hill at QB, I feel great that Michael Thomas is a wide receiver for a workout. But that is the upside pick. It is the sort of pick that I normally I would go for Godwin. I would have kept it safe. I'd like the ultimate upside there.
I'm not mad at that at all. I'm not mad. It, man, it makes perfect sense. It make everything I hear out of camp is that Michael Thomas is is
Looks
looking like
good.
Michael Thomas,
Is that he looks good.
and that's really it. And James, as long as Jameis is throwing him the ball and not my man Taysom, then then we'll figure
Yeah,
it
I
out.
mean that's the thing. If Jameis gets hurt, like we understand, we had our conversation about Taysom at
We
tight
did,
end.
but
Um,
come on now,
that dude is not a quarterback.
come on now. What are we doing?
He's
What are we doing? Um, best team, worst team. We can include ours. Best team, worst team. Let's
where
start with
we
worst
are
team.
including or not including
Yeah,
ours.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's include ours. So we can like do an honorable mention of a team that's not ours. That's fine. But let's just see who had the best. My worst team is. I'm looking at my worst team right here. I understand
Which
they
team is
went.
this?
I understand they have a beautiful quarterback room, but you're starting Brees Hall and ETN, and you're starting Amon Ra, Trayvon Burks, Devonta Smith. That team too is garbage to me. That team too is gross to me.
And that's the thing. The quarterback room looks good, but they went so hard at quarterback that the rest of it just doesn't. Like I like Travis Etienne more than
And then they took
most.
Pitts.
I don't want him to be my running back one. I want him to be my running back two. Um, I
Then they
actually
took
don't have a problem
Pitts.
with the Pitts pick. It's just one of those things where I don't want to take a tight end that far, but or that high. But I think
Not
the
Pitts
potential's
over
there.
Debo, CD Lamb, Kamara,
Yeah, that's not good.
Aaron
That's
Jones, Keenan Allen.
Yeah, this team really isn't good, dude.
That team stinks.
So here's what I'm doing. Situation like this, and this is for the viewers, like real talk, because this is how I go about it. I draft, and then I'm looking at everybody's team, and I'm trying to figure out
You
who's
got
the
to break that quarterback
sucker,
room up, baby.
who's the sucker that is going to panic.
You got to break that quarterback room up, B.
Now that person took Josh Allen number two. You don't want to piss them off and make them defensive by going straight for the jugular. Ace
No,
would, I wouldn't. Ace would.
I damn sure would.
Me?
I damn
I'm
sure
sitting.
would.
I'm sitting there like,
I got
hmm.
Elijah and Tannehill for you.
Funny enough, I'm sitting there like, all right, well, how do I get Russell Wilson from this character?
Mm.
That's how I'm looking at it immediately. Now, a more civilized individual would be saying, what can I trade along with Kirk Cousins to get Russell Wilson? And that would be the civilized thing to do.
That's not
This
how it
ain't
works.
about being civilized, especially if I'm trying to catch you in panic mode.
We're definitely doing
I
a
am
trading show.
I am sitting here and I'm coming out immediately like I got Jared Goff and fill in the blank for Russell Wilson. Take it or leave it. You got two. Look at your roster. You ain't winning with that, B. You're
Not at
not
all.
winning with that. So
So
let's
not.
figure something out. Let's figure something out. I'm trying to flip my third quarterback and maybe my third wide receiver, and I'm trying to go get Russ right now because I got no problem sliding Gabe Davis into a flex spot. I have no problem with that whatsoever. So that's how I go about it immediately.
Yeah,
I'm trying to see how I'm going to
he's
get
got to
over
break
on
that
this
room up.
person.
He's got to break that room up. He's got to break that
Absolutely.
room up immediately because nothing else is there. Like he's got nothing. Brees Hall is not doing it for you, bro. ETN, we've
Isn't he?
seen
Wait,
everything.
am I mistaken, or did Brees get hurt last week?
I'm sure. Yeah, like
Like,
Brees.
no, no. All this aside, like I'm pretty sure he
I'm
got
pretty
hurt last
sure. If Dobbins becomes the Dobbins everybody thought he would be last year before he got hurt, maybe
he's
this looks
still
better.
he's still banged up, which is the reason I didn't take him when I had him
Can't
available
do
as
it.
either running back two. He's still banged up. They say he's going to be all right, but the fact that he missed the year and he's probably not going to be able to play in the preseason, that's not a guy that I want to count
It's not. That team is garb. Um,
on.
best team. I'm not going front.
I'll say this: I actually like Team Three. I
I don't
actually
hate
like
team.
Team Three.
Yeah,
There's too much.
big.
There's too much running back in this flex spots, which is my only
There
pause
are.
because I like the talent, but I don't like playing four running backs at all.
Yeah,
But I like Team Three as a whole.
that's not the team I was going for. I was looking over, and this shows what we think about quarterbacks. They did.
I'm still going through these rosters though to get a good look.
Ooh.
Um, hmm, no,
11. 12 sticks out to me. 12 is very interesting. 12 is very interesting.
I don't like 12. 12 is built the way that you would build a team. That's why you like it. It's built with. I think Trey
But they
Lance is
took
better
two
than
tight
mid.
ends.
Like I think Trey Lance is better than mid. Like I think he has real upside. But the big thing there is they clearly would like, all right, we're gonna get our running backs, get our wide receivers taken care of. That running back wide receiver stack is awesome. Trey Lance is as good as I think he could be. I don't feel safe about it.
You don't feel
I
safe about it.
certainly don't feel safe about Jameis.
Okay.
It's built the way that you build a team, except not as well as you would do it.
Just not as well as I would do it. I appreciate that.
But it
But
makes
yes, that's
sense
true.
why you would like that team.
Because
It
I
makes
just built
perfect
the
sense for
team
the.
the way I would do it. Like I feel
Mhm.
personally, I feel like if I was to choose a team for me, and this is how I like it, I choose my team. I drafted this team. This is the team I would want because I can make the most happen with this. If I need a quarterback, I can pair one of these quarterbacks with a piece that I'm still going to have a monster setup, and I can go get a quarterback who's just enough better to make me feel fine at QB1. I'm not reaching for the stars. I'm not going after team two. Well, actually, I'm going after team two because that team is garbage. And I'll say I'll pair one of these with a guy and let me get Russ, and all of a sudden things are looking spooky. But I'm not taking my team and going after Matt
So,
Ryan.
do you ultimately think you have the best roster?
I like your team better just
So,
because I feel like Penny. I
the
think
Mitchell thing
I think
was the
Brian
piece.
Robinson is going to get busy.
I do too.
I think
Not
Brian
until this
Robinson's going to
week.
get busy.
But the way that people in the city, there are certain people in the city who, when they say certain things or they think certain things are going to go a certain way. I've lived here my whole life. I understand that they are not just saying that. They have been told by somebody inside that, hey,
Yeah,
you need to watch for this.
yeah.
And over the last 10 to 14 days,
I think
the
he's
amount
going to
of
get
buzz
busy,
on
man.
Robinson here in the city is legit.
He was legit
And
in Alabama, dude.
more to the point, the way they're talking about Gibson is not it's not sounding good. He was on punt coverage today, man. That's not what you do with your starting running back.
It's not.
It's just
It's
not.
not. That's not how
It's
you send
just
a
not.
message. You send a
It's
message to your
not.
starting running
Like
back by making
he
him practice
fumbled.
with the second team,
Yeah,
not put him
exactly.
on punt team.
Put him on punt team, man.
Punt team, dog. Go
Covering
run
the
down there.
slot and punting. No, covering
Yeah,
the slot and punt team. Like you
yeah,
just gonna go do all the sprinting today. That's
yeah.
all you're gonna do.
You're
That's
Matthew
not what
Slater
you.
now.
That's
Like you can't do it, bro. You're not gonna make like nah. I can't.
the penny
Um,
thing. The penny thing is one of those things where if it were Elijah Mitchell, I would feel so much better about my team.
right.
Which that's the game, though. You took Elijah, I went elsewhere, and I got deeper elsewhere. It's like
You
that's
did
the balancing of it. So it's don't get so married to I need this position here that you end up losing on value ever.
100%.
The running back I wanted was gone. The rest of them I saw in a cluster. Fine, I'm going to get somebody from a higher tier elsewhere. Get your value. You can figure the
Get
rest
your
out later.
value. Yeah, I feel like your team because of how I feel about Henry. Like it's just I just think he's gonna be a he's gonna go insane, dog. Like he's just gonna be oh god, he's
Of the
just gonna
teams that aren't mine,
and we play him
I,
week one.
I want to
Oh,
give him. I want to give this one team a shout out. I'm not crazy about their quarterback two scenario at all, but I like Team Seven. If there were
seven.
a team that I were choosing for me, it would be Team Seven because they have that top notch QB1, and then they are rock solid at wide receiver and running back. Mike Evans is not my cup of tea, but from a value standpoint, I can't knock what they did there. I like having DeAndre Hopkins stashed if you can afford to do it when building your team. I'm a very big
Agree.
fan of it. If you can afford to do it when building your team, you know you're going to miss that 6 weeks, but he's a playoff push guy. If you're a decent team and then around week 7,
You get Hopkins
DeAndre
back.
Hopkins just parachutes into your
Yeah.
lineup and to like a flex role,
Yeah, it gets spooky.
it changes your season very, very quickly.
It gets
And
spooky,
it
man.
affords you opportunity if something else comes up where you can move a wide receiver to get better somewhere else, you can do so. I think that is the roster that's the most flexible. I don't think
Okay.
it's not necessarily the players that I would target, but they got players in the tiers that I think is right for where they picked them. So from a construction standpoint, I am a big fan of what they did.
It's a team that you would draft and it's a team that you would look around the league and say that person knows what they're doing. That person has done fantasy before. They know how to draft a team well. Um, but that's it, man. Guess who didn't get drafted? Big potato
I,
hand ass Evan Ingram. Even in this shit, you can't get a look. You bum. I hope I on
we're
everything I
not
love.
doing
I hope you watch this.
we're not doing no Evan
Oh,
Ingram
I didn't
rant.
realize he didn't get
Uh,
drafted, bro. You didn't even get drafted by bum ass team too. You meathead. Oh, this is the best. This is my favorite mock draft in history. You computer monitor hand
hey,
bastard.
hey,
I
hey,
appreciate it.
hey,
Ah,
our main league, Lead and Butter. That's the team name. You said that man's hands are
his
made of
hand,
lead and butter.
lead and
Butter.
butter, bro. I just need everybody to understand that. Good job today, yo.
All right, we good?
Your team is the
Am
best
I
team, man.
redeemed? Am I
You,
redeemed?
your
We
team's the
all
best
good?
team, dog. Your
All
team's
right,
the
my
best
man.
team.
All right.
Appreciate y'all, man. We'll be back with another one. Appreciate y'all hanging with us. Snake Draft sucks. So I just want y'all to understand that too. But we
Grab your
appreciate
number
y'all
at the
hanging out with us.
bakery. Wait your turn.